All right, everybody, let's welcome to the Media Center Southern Guards GC, joined by Captain Louis Oosthuizen, Dean Burmester, Charles Schwartzel, and Brandon Grace. Gentlemen, welcome. Thanks for joining us this morning. Louis, quickly start with you. You and the team were really instrumental in bringing a LIV golf event to South Africa, and now this week it's finally here. How proud are you of all the work that's gone into delivering this event for your home country?
Yeah, I think for a while we've been trying to figure out how we can get it done, get a tournament here in SA, and then we had lots of people involved to try and make this work. And last year it was sort of, I think realistically we were thinking of getting it hopefully in 28, maybe in 27 if. But yeah, we had some great support and from the minister and from Steyn City and from everyone, and I think we all yesterday drove through the fan village, walked through Club 54, walked through the golf course a bit, and we were extremely proud of bringing the tournament here, and I don't think the people have an idea when they think they're coming to just watch a normal tournament. I think once they get here, they're going to experience what this event will be all about. And to Chris, Stephen, everyone that had a massive input into getting everything ready, and to Ross from LIV and everyone. Just it's been an amazing job, and we're just very proud sitting here and being part of this.
Brandon, just speaking of this venue, all the work that's gone into it, could you please just share some insights on the course here and what the rest of the players can expect and what kind of test it'll present?
I think this is maybe a better question for Burmy or Charles. Louis and I, we haven't played it, but we've played a few holes. But from what we've seen and what we've tried to do when we came out here, Louis and I came out here for the media day. We did a tour. We tried to toughen it up a little bit with the rough and the thickness and that sort of stuff. We grew up with kikuyu grass. The rest of the field's probably never even seen it the way that we know it. But yeah, it's immaculate. It's awesome condition. Obviously, the weather has not played its part so much, but I think the weather for the week looks good. So the course is just going to get firmer, faster, better. But we're all in for a hell of a treat. Like Louis said, everybody that's coming, they're not expecting what these guys have done. This is something spectacular, and I think I definitely think we're going to be in for the running for the best one.
Dean, we had the Rippers in here a little bit earlier this morning. One of the topics obviously came up was the rivalry and the 2024 team playoff in Adelaide. That was maybe the first time where for LIV Golf the team fandom and that competition was really showcased on a global stage. So what do you remember about being part of that playoff, and having seen the success that the Rippers have had in Adelaide? Does that add any fuel for the team this week?
Yeah, I think certainly. Obviously, being part of that playoff was probably one of the best things I've ever done in the game of golf. Obviously, not coming out on top. I think the first playoff hole, Louis and I said all the time, we had our chances and we didn't take it. But it was an amazing stadium kind of atmosphere. It was like any other sport you'd ever play anywhere in the world. So I think rugby for us and cricket, and such a rivalry against the Australians for so long has been something that's come through generations, and then for us to be able to be a part of it there was really cool. And now we get an opportunity to do it at home and represent South Africa at home and get that kind of team environment for us. Like Louis said earlier, we're just proud, and I think hopefully the fans have an amazing experience, and we certainly feel like they're going to be behind us.
And lastly, quick one for Charles. Charles, if we think back to 2022, you hoisted the first individual championship trophy and in London. The team also had great success that week. You've been part of LIV since then. What has, in your eyes, just seeing the evolution of the league and of LIV Golf from that very first event to this week, what has that meant to you, and just what can you share about how much this league has grown?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that first event in June in 2022, there was a lot of turmoil in our sport, a lot of uncertainty. Obviously, also from guys that had gone to LIV, nobody was sure what to expect. I had a great week, my first one. The team had a fantastic week, and I thought, well, this is going to be nice. And then I haven't really, haven't won ever since. And at least we've had some team wins in that period. But you know, from a LIV standpoint, it's been fantastic to be part of it, to see how it's grown, gotten better every year. They improve. You know, we've had like a taste of it every year in Adelaide, where you can see what it can be, because that's like the pinnacle of the LIV events. And now, just to see what we've created here in South Africa makes you very proud to see. This is fantastic. I don't think there's never been a golfing event in South Africa that's had a setup like this. And I don't think many sporting events here. This is really amazing, and it's sort of a great to have seen, and it's, like I said, it's proud to be a part of it, because that's what we thought and what we were told it could be when we signed up with LIV, and it's really come to life. It's amazing.
Thank you. We'll open up to the floor. Media, please raise your hands and introduce yourself when we bring a microphone.
Khotso Newsroom Africa. Just for Louis Oosthuizen, what's the chat in the Southern Guards locker room, particularly bearing in mind that a home kind of tournament brings a different kind of pressure?
Yeah, obviously, I think us four would love to perform well, would love to play well, but I think the bigger picture is getting the tournament here. The bigger picture for me is that the four of us really enjoy this week, that what everyone has done, our team behind the scenes, the LIV guys and everyone that was involved, that what we've done in achieving by getting this tournament here is a massive goal of ours. So I know when we step on the golf course, it will be all down to business, and we want to play well. But to be honest with you, I want to enjoy this week. I want to take everything in, and yeah, there's a few more things you have to do off the golf course, a little bit more than a normal event. But I think this week we're happy to do it, and just make sure that the fans and everyone here, players, caddies, everyone has a great experience of our beautiful country, and that's the main goal for the week.
Dimitri, to your left.
Hello, boys. Welcome home. Dimitri from Southpaw Media. Thank you, first off. You've made sure that this is a terrible week to be a brandy and coke. It's going to be tough out there, obviously.
That's just in our locker room.
Exactly, yeah. I wasn't even speaking about my personal consumption. Outside of that, hopefully it's a tough week for everyone who comes up against the Southern Guards as well. At South Africa, a proud sporting nation, we thrive in team sports. Obviously, we have individual major winners in the room, but are we more geared towards taking this on as a team? Does the Southern Guard W count more than a solo win? Are we poised to go in a team direction this week? I mean, that's to anyone who's prepared to answer. Maybe you, Skipper.
Yeah, look, individually, obviously, if you're playing well, a win is great. I think, to me, those proud moments are like Chicago last year. I mean, obviously, Dean was playing really good, and he had a rough start on the Sunday, but how he pulled it through and got in the playoff and then won. But for the rest of us, you know, if you're not playing great and you manage to play really good those last 5-6 holes, or get it through, or get your team, or get a win, that almost to me is a greater moment than playing well the whole week and win the tournament yourself. It's sort of bringing that extra little for the team, and I think for me, I'm more invested in that the team does really well every week and that we play well, and you know, me trying to do my part and have a good score. But it has changed my mentality about, you know, what LIV is all about. For all the years being pro is always individual, and now being part of a team with 3 good friends is more important than individual for me.
Charles, Cobus Lawson, Media 24. As a former Masters champion, you've had many highlights in your career. Where does this tournament in South Africa rank in terms of that?
Look, winning the Masters will always be the biggest event, the most proudest moment of my career. But you know, this is in a different light. You know, this is something that was also way off a dream when LIV started. To just have a tournament, just to be able to play a LIV event in South Africa, and for it to have happened at this sort of bigger stage. Is as a South African a very proud moment, and for myself just to be, you know, you asked about the team thing. I think we've been very consistent this year. We haven't had a podium, but it's been like 4th and 5th and 4th. But I think this tournament, from a team point of view, to play with these 3 guys, I think this week somehow the team aspect is going to mean a little bit more. When you look at a leaderboard, when we're playing other places, you look at the team, but you also look at where you're standing individually. But I've got a feeling this week you're going to be looking at the team score a bit more than we normally do.
Guys on your left here, Ben Kopinski from The Bounce. So much has been spoken about in Ryder Cups going into them about preparing the course for the home team. To your average golfer, golf courses are difficult. That's just how it is. How do you guys look at a golf course like this, and how do you go, we're going to make it beneficial for us? I mean, are you sort of like making it a couple of holes Bryson-proof by putting rough in a certain place? Are you making some of the greens more susceptible to your shot shapes? Like, what's the sort of thought process here? I'm going to guess Charles is going to be the best to answer this because he's more of the analytical guy.
More of a what?
Analytical guy.
Oh, analytical. Oh. Sure. It's a big word.
Yeah, it was a tough one because if we make it DeChambeau proof, we actually made it Burmester proof too. You know, it's just as fast. So it's a bit of a catch-22. But look, when we first came out in September, we came here and this golf course was just a course for the members. Dean played a tournament that way, and they destroyed the golf course. So the very obvious first thing was to make it tough. I spoke to Louis. We both played the $1 Million, the Netbank, when it was a 12-man field back in the early, 2010, around there, where the rough was very long. Then single digits would win, and there would be more emphasis on quality golf shots, where modern day, the way the course was just for ball match, so you could just hit it anywhere and guys would get away with it. So that was the first thing to try and stop. So at least make the guys think, reward quality golf shots. We played just before Riyadh, but they fertilized it that week, so the rough wasn't up yet. But with all the rain we've had, I'm pretty sure we're going to go today. But I'm sure it's going to be nice and juicy, and there's going to be a lot of emphasis on hitting fairways. Bryson hasn't felt the Kikuyu grass yet. He'll learn quickly.
We're going to test his forms, that's for sure, I think. Yeah, probably on that, what Charles said, I think, we came here, we played, and like you said, they just fertilized it. Brandon and I played 3 holes yesterday, just quickly, and I hit it a foot into the foot into the rough on 10, and Brandon was a yard into the rough on 10. And we're both carrying 7 woods this week because of the rough, and neither of us had a chance of getting it anywhere near that green. So there is definitely the element of, you know, that fairway's been narrowed into, I think, like 17 yards wide of where driver's going to pitch, and that was Louis' goal. He wanted to give 57 guys a chance to win this tournament. You don't want to take 30% of the field out. And I think everybody involved, honestly, has done an amazing job. It does look incredible considering all the weather they've had, hot and rain. But yeah, I think we'll find out more, you know, this 9 holes we get to play a little later.
Sorry guys, Stacey Holland, SABC News Sport. I'm really intrigued around the psychology around LIV Golf. Usually golfers are attracted to the game because of the individual aspect. Now you turn that around with the team element, and especially the growth. Bryson spoke about the fact that golf needed to innovate in order to attract the younger golfer. Now you add in the sensory experience with mics everywhere. It's a different thought process when you're playing the solitary golfer. Now you've got this team aspect, and even in the individual league format. How's that changed in terms of how you think through the course, how you think through different shots, and what do you think about how it's going to attract the younger golfer who perhaps wasn't brought up in that purest perspective of golf?
Okay, Louis, do you want to do it?
Yeah, look, one of my daughters is sitting in here, and they love watching YouTube, watching the guys on YouTube channel golf, especially Bryce and what he's doing. So the game is definitely changing for the younger people to get it, you know, attracted to golf through not just watching a tournament. They do all kinds of things now online. So I think it's still, you know, I will always respect the game for what it is. Open Championship is the best tournament in the world. You always have those things, but it definitely involved, and you need to sort of go with it to, you know, to make it popular under the youngsters. And being mic'd up, and I know it's not for everyone. I'm not a big fan of being mic'd up when I play golf, but you know, all of that is part of the change, and it's once you're out there and you get on the golf course, you know, I think you still play the same golf you've played all your years. You still think the same way, but there's a little bit more stuff going around after your round of golf, or around you. There's lots of things that you need to now take in consideration, and you know, it's not for everyone. I don't think the older golfer, the true golf fan that grew up with watching, you know, old school golf might not be for him. But I think under the youngsters, it's very popular.
Thank you. To your left.
Hi, gents, over here. Ibrahim Tayyab from Chat EBT. So, you know, we brought up cricket a few times today, and a lot of times we mention how the crowd is that 12th player in a cricket team. So with over 90,000 tickets sold this week, what big of an impact do you think the 5th player of your team is going to have on this week?
Look, I probably won't shy away from this question, because I really do thrive off a little bit of crowd energy. I do like getting the crowd behind me a little bit. I might...
No.
Okay. But somebody's got to do it, I suppose. But look, it's going to be insane. There's a few surprises. I think a couple of our sponsors have organized some amazing things that are going to get the crowd hyped and get them jacked up. And we know the party hole, we've obviously experienced it in Adelaide, and it's big. You can hardly hear what your caddy is saying on that tee, and hopefully we're expecting more of the same for us here. But like Louis said, you know, those things are all what's going to grow the game for a younger demographic. And I think having a crowd that's going to be a little boisterous and a little behind you is not your traditional golf crowd. And that's how we're going to change the game and get more golf clubs into more kids' hands, I think. So, yeah, let the crowd get behind us. And, you know, we expect a lot of great things, and pretty sure the Aussies might have a slightly harder time than they do in Adelaide.
Mike?
Gentlemen, I'm just wondering, how do you balance the promotion of the event versus the competition? Obviously, Louis, you said the promotion, the experience itself is kind of the bigger picture, but how do you weigh those two things throughout the week?
Our staff has done a great job. The Southern Guard, team behind the scenes has done a really good job by we've done a lot of things last week. Social media things and things that we were supposed to do yesterday. We got that out the way. This morning we booked up, up until about 11, I think, 11:15 or something. So then we can actually go and play some golf. Obviously tonight we have the welcome party, and we were going to go anyway, so that doesn't make a difference. And then the green room tomorrow night. We got a few more things. I think tomorrow afternoon. I'm not sure. No, we don't. Look, they've done a great job. But yeah, we did have. We knew this week was going to be tough. I spoke to Cam about it on his first experience, and could see how much it took out of them. And performance level, they weren't great that year, and the next year they were really good. So I think we'll learn from this week as well how we can do next week or next year better. But so far it's been really good. We're ready for the week to start. We're anxious to get out there and see the golf course and practice a little bit. But again, bigger picture is for this week is everyone having a great time.
And my last question for all four of you: what's the key to doing the Rhino Jive properly? Dean, I know you got to answer.
Do it properly. It'll be probably a Sunday night thing after about 14 brandy and cokes. We'll do it properly then. Yeah.
We'll send you a video then as well.
I'm pretty sure something will pop up on Louis' Instagram. What, you started with your left hand. Come on, Louis.
At the back here, guys. Jody, RSG Radio. Just the season so far, you guys individually has done well at certain tournaments, the team also. So does that give you some pressure going into your home tournament for the first time?
No, I think it's actually, listen, you guys. I think it actually helps. We know that everybody's played some good golf. We know that we're trending, so that is good. Obviously, the last couple of weeks, Louis really played well. Charles been up there. Burmese had 3 top 10s. I started off pretty decent this season, and we've been very solid. Like Charles said, obviously not the podium, but we've been there and thereabout. But maybe this is all it needs. That coming home, being in front of your home fans, being comfortable, and just having all our friends and family here. Like Louis says. Sometimes just being relaxed and having a good time is all it needs. So I think everybody's in for a big treat this week.
Gentlemen, thanks very much for the time. Great luck this week.